Welcome everybody, this is Commander Ramsey for another video on yet another German battleship. I'm featuring German battleships during the month of March. In this particular video, we've got the Odin Tier 8 battleship. She's smaller, actually pretty fun to play because she's quite maneuverable. Yeah, she does have hydro. She's got 9 main battery guns, but of course they all are smaller caliber. I believe they're the size of the, let's see, probably the same as the Anhalt, I believe. Maybe wrong on that one. But she does have hydro, and she's got torpedoes. Pretty good detection though. This game's not too difficult. It's a tier 6, 7, and 8. In this type of game, I'll play the Odin a little more aggressively, as you'll see in this video here. We've only got 2 destroyers and 1 sub on each side. I've got several cruisers. Plays a part in the game. 1 CB per side. Immediately they CB attacks you. That's pretty standard procedure if you're a CB player. Immediately one of my friendlies cuts back on me and runs from my path and proceeds to honk at me for whatever reason, I guess. So I slow down to try to avoid the collision. Start following him to head back over here between B and C cap. But if I'm in a higher tier game in the Odin, I'll tend to play her more of like a battle cruiser and utilize a spotter plane, which I've done here to try to get off a few shots over the island. One thing I noticed about the Odin, it does not have a lot of hit points, so you can tank a little bit with it, you'll see in this video, but I would not advise using the Odin for that. I'm typically more of a mid-range ship. You can use the spotter as I am and get some long-distance shots in there. German battleships, the accuracy is not the best in the world. I do have the multi-blue camo on here, thinking I did get a citadel on that, forgot about that. But nonetheless, going into the cap zone here, I've got a player on each side of me, some support. I do notice cruiser in front of me. York does have torpedoes, so I turn on my hydro preparation for oncoming torpedoes. And being a battleship and him a cruiser, I start to train my main battery guns directly at his back. He's got himself in a world of hurt at this point. Train my secondaries on him too. One of my friendlies gets him. Immediately I've got ships off to my right, kind of showing some broadside, so my hope is to get out of this position as soon as I can. There's the cruiser's torpedoes as predicted. I'm pretty sure the cruiser goal here is to run him out of the cap zone. Most of the enemy is off to the northeast. Unusual you cap in a battleship, but in this situation I found it advantageous. The Odin does handle more like a cruiser in my opinion. It's small and its ability to maneuver is much quicker than a lot of battleships, so it's got some good distance on her guns. Like I said, the caliber's not the largest in the world, but play her more like an Alaska. do quite well in her. But as I said before, being in this situation here is not common, even in a Tier 8 battle, but found myself in an advantageous situation. Using the islands here is a way to block most of the enemy's onslaught. I angle myself somewhat the best I can, and I've noticed the enemy cruiser here is creeping up on my right side. I might get a good shot on him, but he's turning into my direction. So I decided to look at the Colorado. Nope. I did capture the zone. So I decided to take some shots at the, I guess the Harlem. Get a couple of good penetration. The CB's trying to make some shots at me, but he's not getting much damage, so I'm not too worried about him yet. It does have those parachute bombs, and if you do get hit by those, they hurt a lot. I forgot this game. Actually, the Harlem has aircraft. I'd forgotten about that. So imagine I'm basically playing against two CBs in that situation. So they're starting to focus fire me here. Lost some of my health, so I decided at this point I better use the island for protection. I've asked for RCB for a little help here. My fault I got myself in this situation. I'm trying to hold the B cap since I'm already here. I know we already have the A cap, so I know the enemy's going to be trying to take the B cap. So my strategy now is to get behind the island and try to tank from there, while keeping myself at an angle to minimize damage. I notice my friendlies back over at the A cap eventually will be joining me, so my goal here is to stay behind the island, kind of peek out and use my forward guns as I can. We've got a slight ship advantage and we've got the lead. We've got another heal after this one, and the New Orleans is overplaying his hand, so I'm not too worried about his guns, but I'm going to go ahead and try to take him out. My friendlies once again help me out. It's good to have good teammates. And I notice the Colorado is starting to come around the bend to try to challenge the B cap. So my goal here is to keep my bow forward. And he's probably got may have better armor in the bow than me, being a heavier dreadnought ship, but I am lower to the water, which helps. I know he doesn't have torpedoes and I do. I was tempted at first just to proceed straight ahead, but since I'm at 50% health, I thought, no, I'm going to kind of preserve myself in the game and not do anything foolish here. What starts to hurt here is having the Harlem's planes as well as the Indomitable planes coming after me. They actually add quite a bit to my damage. They large. That took about another 25%. Not getting much help from my friendly CB to help minimize damage from the cab, but I'm not going to blame him. He's being a CB player, I know you can't be in the same place. You can't be in all places at all times. So at this point, I decided, well, the Colorado's proceeding straight ahead. I'm going to back up, prepare to use my torpedoes. Set a fire on him. Then I realized my torpedo launcher on the right side of the ship is damaged beyond repair. So I say, okay, well, I'll maneuver back. Use my torpedoes on the left side of my ship. My health's getting low. Pretty good damage, but the enemy team is pelting me from above. It's really hurting. And hoping I would have gotten a little more support in the air, which didn't work out. I did get more torpedoes launched, blew me up. Came in at almost 100,000 damage. Not too bad for the little Odin. It's a fun ship to play, but just beware it does not have a lot of HP. Here you can see the battle results. I did capture one, 5 defended, which helps on your XP score. Don't forget that. Only 62 secondary hits. I did set 3 fires, shot down 10 aircraft, which was not bad. From an XP standpoint on the team, it came in second with over 2,000 XP, which is great if you're building up your commander skills. And we'll show that here in just a minute. But I gave compliments to some of my teammates. You know, at New Orleans did quite well. And the sub snuck in there and got 3 ships, which helped us out a lot. Did give a compliment to the Heirloom ship. I may have to get that ship. It looks like it's pretty fun to play when you're dropping parachute bombs on everybody. Looking at the details of the battle, most of my damage was on the Colorado. My friendlies blew him up before my torpedoes hit him. Secondary battery, over 20,000 damage with only 62 hits. That's phenomenal. And then 15,000, almost 16,000 on fires. You can probably expect less damage in that category when you're at a tier 9 or, God forbid, a tier 10 battle in this ship. I would definitely play this ship totally different in an upper tier game, more like a mid to long range cruiser, and push when you can push. Miscellaneous damage on the other ships. Damage on a lot of ships, but not a lot of damage per ship. And here's your credits. You can see 32,000, which is quite large, thanks to that base XP score. That boosted my commander XP up quite large, and due to the bonus flags I got on her. We'll jump out here now and take a look at the ship build. I remember getting the Odin. I believe it was in a dockyard event. Everybody was raving about it at the time. And it's a fun ship to play, but its lower HP pool makes it more challenging. I do use the Damage Control Party Mod 1. That does get you 21 seconds on the consumable action time. I do use the Hydro Modification 1, which boosts your Hydro Modification time. And I go with the Aiming Systems Mod 1 here instead of the secondaries, and do Damage Control System Mod 2 to help fire. And to keep my concealment lower, I use Concealment Mod 1. Notice on the concealment mod, it's very similar to the Anhalt. You're down in the 12-kilometer range, which is very good for a Tier 8 battleship. Secondaries are still at 10 kilometers. You can see the damage that I got earlier. So you don't lose a lot when you go for the modifications to improve your main battery accuracy. So I would encourage that setting. Signal flags, pretty common for a German battleship, including the hydro. These others are signals are pretty standard. I do use the spotter plane, which does come in handy. Here's your bonus, economic bonus flags. Here's the Legion's build, which I use on several of my battleships. No stranger if you've seen my previous videos. Move him around on a lot of German battleships and other ship classes. Been pretty happy with this build so far. Seems to be optimized. I'll probably keep it that way. So overall, the Odin's a fun ship to play. If you get a chance to get her, if you like real maneuverable, quick battleships with reasonable accuracy, I would choose her. If you're more of a dreadnought, large ship, slow-moving kind of battleship player, you may not like this ship because it plays more of a heavy cruiser, something like I would call it a German Alaska, but the Alaska obviously is better, I think, more accurate guns, and it has radar and so forth. But in terms of how you play her in an upper tier game, I would play the Odin more like a battle cruiser to heavy cruiser due to her smaller health pool. Appreciate you tuning in, guys, and have a great time on World of Warships. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Commander Ramsey. Hearty salute.